Great. Yes, there he is, Mike. Thank you very much. Mike, obviously calling in from New York City as the Director of Global Sports Marketing for HOKA ONE ONE. Mike, thanks for being with us. Of course, New York City very much in the news as a hotspot for the COVID crisis. Tell us about how life in New York is. You're living it.
It's there's definitely a lot of tension here, but people are getting out. I mean, I'm on my bike every day with Ruby or Swift and sneaking out in Central Park like everybody else, trying to do what we can to be observant. But we're getting through it like everybody else. But New York is the epicenter, so I think it's definitely happening here in spades.
Yeah. Hard for me to believe that I'm reading this statistic, but the Hoka brand is now 10 years old. That's impossible for me to believe. You've been with the company for 5 of those years. Tell us what makes this incredible brand tick, and what really drives your business. What's the heart and soul of the Hoka One One brand?
At first, a shout out to Ben Canute because he's one of our athletes. So crushing it, Ben. I love it, man. I saw him pushing the watts in the first 20K. But thank you. Yeah, our brand is young, 10 years old, and we're still certainly growing global brand awareness. But our overall purpose is to ignite bold change and to propel people forward. So ignite bold change. That could be doing your first Ironman. It could be doing your first virtual Ironman race on one of the series here, or it could be just trying to get you through the day, or win the World 70.3 like Ben is trying to do. So that's certainly Hoka's purpose. But we're young. A lot of people are still discovering the brand, and yet yes, we just crossed over a decade.
That's incredible. And how did Hoka get involved with the sport of triathlon, and what was the draw to triathlon specifically?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking that. And in fact, triathletes, which tend to be very early adopters and early when it comes to finding benefits with technology and innovation, they found Hoka. And I would tell you, they found Hoka before Hoka really started to invest into its partnership with Ironman and specifically into elite athletes. But that's now become just a great relationship between the two. We first started to get involved with Ironman back in 2016 officially. And of course, the partnership has been wonderful. It's expanded now to all of North America, all of Europe, Pacific. We just added the Philippines 70.3 full Ironman distance. We have a number of professional athletes, and we're thrilled to be a part of it. Quite honestly, triathletes are very, very early adopters, and they certainly found the benefit in order to maximize their training and race performance through our brand. So, triathletes found Hoka before Hoka found Ironman.
That's really, really interesting. Another really interesting thing to me is you think about, a running shoe. It's a shoe, you put it on your foot, but the innovation in running shoes over the past several years has been just astounding. Talk to us a little bit about the innovations at Hoka and what's the latest and greatest in terms of the technology.
Sure. Yeah. And when you think about where Hoka came from, these oversized shoes, different geometries, rocker, the stack heights, and of course, let's just say the rest of the industry is sort of following those insights that Hoka is really founded beyond, and that certainly propels Hoka going forward. But just in terms of what we have in our back pocket, I think a lot of people have found the Carbon X, which we launched last year. We launched it. We had a big 100-kilometer event, and we had an athlete that broke the world record for 50 miles. And it's really a premium lightweight training and racing shoe that's universal. We have athletes like Chelsea Sodaro that wore it at the Worlds this past year and was fourth. Joe Skipper, when he won Ironman New Zealand, Ironman Florida in 2:39 split, he wore the Carbon X. So that certainly has been a big training and racing model that's certainly universal for every triathlete. And then I think, going into this year, one of the models everyone's super excited about is a new model called the Rocket X. And of course, we had a lot of our athletes in Rocket X. We had all of them, in fact, at the U.S. Olympic trials in the marathon. Alafine Tillamook won the race in that model. We've released a few pairs, but that is I would tell you a little bit more of a pure racing shoe with, again, all the traditional Hoka geometries and stack height, as well as carbon fiber. Athletes like Ben Canute, I think you'll probably see Jan Frodeno in it, as well as Tio Rennie, as we officially launch the shoe later on this year. So Carbon X this past year, new, and certainly I think a shoe that everyone is really excited about is a model called the Rocket X.
Well, you certainly have me excited. I had the privilege of racing in the Carbon X at Ironman Canada last year, and now I can't wait to try the Rocket X. So thanks for that great advice, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you with us today and hearing a little bit about what's going on at Hoka. We appreciate your time, and you stay safe in New York.
Thanks so much, Dee Dee.